best in poker news, entertainment, and more. This is the Mark Hoke Show.
We're just pretending we're starting the show 3 times. It's fun. What's up, Nate? Nate! Oh, I hope he hasn't abandoned me. Now he's getting the call in. All right, we're going to try and hang in there. I think I know what the problem was. Maybe have an issue here, but hey, we'll get through it. Oh, Casino Examiner, get over it, brother. All right, so Brian Olton coming on from the Poker Players Championship Tour. The Players.
Hi.
Wow, I'm really messed up. The Players Poker Championship Poker Tour. We're gonna have Brian on. We've also got Greg Elder coming on. Nate Dowland on the show. I'm gonna let Mr. Olton know that he is now ready to go. I think I know what happened. I don't know, though. So hold on to your hats, kids. Of course, don't forget event number 15 of the Off-Tail Poker Tables Tournament Series coming up here in just a little bit, too. So he's busted on John Lindquist from KLAV. And we will be on KLAV here Wednesday. Guest not booked yet.
Why not?
Well, there's a reason. There's a reason. We have a possible bookie, but I can't announce it until it's booked.
You don't know if we have a bookie booked?
No. Somebody beer me up right now. I mean right now. All right, so I'm going to let Brian know he can come on, call the show, and we will get him on here. Oy vey. Fun. Here on the Mark Hoke Show. Well, we haven't had a crash like that. Quite a while. I can't remember the last time that happened. Jesus.
It happens. Happens to the best of us.
Yep. Well, speaking of it, we have Brian coming on right now, so let's get Brian on the show. Nate, I'm going to say goodbye to you for a minute, and let's get Brian on the show. Brian, thank God you're here. Jeez.
How we doing?
Oh, I'm just peachy. 2 crashes, and we're finally getting to a little substance on the show. Good to have you on, my friend.
Oh, glad to be on.
Yeah. So, how are things going down there in Florida and wherever else you're hanging out right now? What's new?
It's going outstanding. We're continuing to grow the tour. We're just focused on the next events. The next one's in Miami, and at the Casino Miami Highlight down there. And then after that, we've just got a slew of events between May and October. And, with the event coming out to Vegas, we're very excited to be in Nevada. And it's going to be June 29th through July 1st. So we're over at the Golden Nugget during the World Series. And it'll be interesting because, we are competing against the big 1-for-1 drop. So players determining whether they want to buy into a 350 versus a 1 milli. It's going to be tough for them to decide. But,
What are you going to do about it?
So,
well, before we get into talking about that event coming up at the Golden Nugget, tell everybody a little bit about the PPC if they're not familiar with it. Because you guys do some very unique things. You have a great championship in Aruba. So give everybody a little overview about the tour.
Basically what we do is we're a little bit different than every other tour in that we have our World Championship down in Aruba every October. And what we do is all of our events leading up to that are a hybrid system of a standard poker tournament. Normally in a poker tournament, you've got where 100% of the prize pool goes out in the form of cash, and then you also have tournaments that are satellites. Well, we married the two. So basically what happens is 80% of the prize pool in all of our events goes out in the form of cash, 20% goes out in the form of packages to Aruba. So the player that's, the top finishers in each tournament, besides winning their share of the cash, are also winning packages to Aruba for the PPC Aruba World Championship. So what happens is they win their $2,200 buy-in and main event, they win a couple of sub-events, they win 7 nights hotel, and they win $400 for airfare. So that way they're getting a whole poker. We've coined it a pokercation. Obviously taking vacation and poker together. And so that's the little bit different twist that we put on the tour. And then we do have a Player of the Year that we accumulate points through at all of our stops. And players, we started in Florida and have continued to grow from there.
Oh, it sounds incredibly exciting. So the Aruba event, tell everybody a little bit about how much fun that is, because I know a lot of players, when they've gone down there, have absolutely had a blast when they've hit that.
Oh, absolutely. When we were first starting to look at starting the tour and our event, Aruba just seemed like a great destination. And UB used to put on a really fun event down there. I used to go down there a couple times, and that was when Florida, before Florida had the change in laws. A lot of Florida players would go down for the UB event because then there was great action, there was tremendous limits, and players got to play real poker. And then with the changes and with Black Friday and the interworkings of what happened with UB, obviously that went by the wayside. And we looked at it as just a grand opportunity, and we came back in, had a lot of hurdles to overcome from stuff that was left behind with the government there with the poker scene that we had to overcome. But we got our event started off in 2012, and this year will be the third annual.
Yeah, it sounds like it's going to be.
But yeah, Aruba itself is gorgeous. I mean, the players that have been down there, they know. The beaches are pristine, the water's crystal clear blue. It's a small island, incredible food. You would think, hey, it's a small island, the food's probably not great. No, it's amazing down there. Fresh seafood, and then everything about it's just wonderful. It's gorgeous there.
Well, you couldn't have picked a better place to have your main event. So as you have built this tournament series up that you guys have, obviously, when Black Friday hit, it really changed everything. And, I think one thing that people have forgotten as a change in that is how many poker tours emerged out of this because everybody couldn't play online anymore. So what was kind of the inspiration to get this thing going? And tell us a little bit about, the good and the bad of getting the PPC off and running.
Well, it all started off with a single tournament with Aruba, because we looked at that and said, you know what, we're going to start with a single event, and then we're going to grow from there. And the singular event, when you're down there in Aruba, it's not like players can call up other players and go, hey man, it's great, it's a light field, or it's a great prize pool, you need to get over here, because they got to jump on a plane. It's not like you're just around the corner from your local casino. Hey, there's a great overlay situation, get over here. So that was one of the things that necessitated us building a tour from there. And, one of the two people that we worked with first were Mike Smith now at Maryland Live, and also Patrick Murphy over at Tampa Bay Downs, the Silks Poker Room. And those two guys were very instrumental in helping us get the tour started. They took a great chance on us. And, we've made them both, homerooms. Mike comes down as, consultant with the event, and actually TDs the event down in Aruba. And then Patrick, he's going to be coming down this year, but he's a great guy, and we're holding our North America Championship in his room this summer with over 300,000 in guarantees for the series.
Wow, that is
right after the main event completes of the World Series.
Boy, did you ever think you were going to be all over the place like this?
What's funny is, you started off and you're like, oh, we'll have a few events, it'll be fun, and it is still fun, but it's like, wow, we're all over the place now. We're in talks with, rooms in the Midwest, in the Northwest, and in both California and in Northern Nevada and Reno right now that are looking to probably come online for this season. That'll, the season wraps up every year in Aruba, but we're looking at adding on probably 4 to 5 more events this year before the Aruba event that'll add to our existing 25 stops for the year.
Wow, that is out. So many poker tours struggle to get 12 events, and you guys are all over the place like this. That is one hell of a growth spurt for you. It's
we're bringing the rooms what they want. We're coming in. We're bringing them a product that they're desiring, and really focusing on the players as well. And the players, it's been tremendously received. The whole first season, players have come. I haven't been in business for myself for many years, and been involved in other ventures. When people are coming up to you, thanking you for being there, it almost puts you off. You're like, wait, people are supposed to be complaining about things. And it's really refreshing to see when we go into a poker room and everybody's coming up to you going, oh, thank you guys so much for bringing your tour here. This is really fun. So it's been refreshing in that aspect as well.
So you're taking the chance on going into the Golden Nugget, during the World Series of Poker. And obviously there are many events that go on outside of the World Series. What was the motivation to decide to go into the Golden Nugget at that time of year and take a shot?
Well, we work hand in hand with Lupe Soto at Lips, and she's been great in introducing us to a few rooms, and we always, at any of our events, put on a Lips event as well during our series. Helping her spread her brand and trying to, expand the ladies line as well. So when, ladies poker week is actually capping on the 29th. And so when we were speaking to her about wanting to come into Vegas, she said, why don't you guys come in right at the end of Ladies Week, and you guys can come into the Nugget, and I'll get you guys in there. So it all stemmed off of that, from the relationship with her and Lips, and it just seems like a great fit starting point to get our feet into Vegas.
And, of course, that event is going to be running. It is the PPC Golden Nugget Desert Open, June 29th through July 1st, 2014. On the 29th, we've got the kickoff tournament, which is a $300 buy-in. Then on Monday the 30th is a 135 deep stack tourney. Plus, of course, we've got Tuesday a No Limit Hold'em Last Chance 180 Turbo. So some pretty good stuff going on there. Plus, a lot of other events. So should be a great event for everybody that they decide that playing the millionaire or the one drop isn't for them.
Exactly. So, but yeah, when during the summer, during the series, the only place to be for running anything is Vegas. And there's so many great events going on outside of the series. The series itself, of course, is, the preeminent. It's the monster, and, has made the poker world what it is. And we figure, it's a great time to be there. It's a great time to see a lot of our pros. Joe Sirach is our ambassador. He'll obviously be out there. Muckle, who just completed winning the WPT Player of the Year. He's been a great friend of the tour. He's a good guy. I've known him for quite a few years since he started playing down here. And, we look forward to seeing all those guys when we go out there. And, because we besides focusing on the amateur, we focus on both the player, the pro, and the amateur. And one of the things we do is we have a advisory board of pros that we speak to about, what they're looking for, different things in the game, and we experiment with that at our different stops. So that way we see how it works both with the amateur and for the pros.
Well, I think that's been a very important step that poker's taken since the moneymaker boom, because there was always just that this is the way we're going to do it. And as time has gone on more and more over the past few years, and because things have gotten so competitive, many of the tours have set up boards like yours to get player input, to figure out exactly what are the things that you need to improve, what are the good things, so you can pull everything together and create an experience that is going to draw the players in, so they don't have to worry about showing up and getting into a bad tournament with a bad structure.
Absolutely. It's so important. You have to know your customer. You have to know your base. And if you're not taking care of them, they're going to go somewhere else.
Yeah, and Joe Sirach's not a bad guy to have on. Does he actually say anything when he's in the meetings?
What's that?
Does he actually say anything when he's in the meetings?
Oh yeah, no. Once you get him going, it's you pull the string and then he starts going. Then he stops. But yeah.
Yeah, Joe's a great guy. We've had Joe on the show quite a few times. He is an absolute class act, and you're lucky to have a guy like him working with you. I mean, that was a very good timing for you to get Joe Sirach on board.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he, what's funny is when he came down for the 2012 PPC Aruba, that was his first live, big tournament win. And, we only drew that first year, we drew a 31-player field, and that was a tough 31-player field. I mean, we had in that guys right off the top of my head I can think of were Matt Waxman, Jesse Chinney, Mike Beasley, Sirach, Muckle, Ronnie Barta, just to name a few of the 31 players, and the amount of rings and bracelets and millions won represented in that field was a pretty difficult 31-player field. But he wins the event, and that was sandwiched in between his back-to-back $300,000 third-place finishes on the WPT. And he got the cover, the front page of Poker News based off of his $40,000 win in Aruba of a 31-player field. So it was pretty ironic after the two big scores on the WPT that he got it from our event. So it endeared us to him.
Oh, absolutely. So now, of course, you have the Maryland Live event coming up. More events in Florida, the event in Las Vegas, and of course the championship coming up in October. Point out a couple of maybe the key stops that if people want to get involved and play in one of these events, where should they be headed?
Well, first and foremost, always up to date is ppcpokertour.com. ppcpokertour.com is our website. It's got all of our information on there. We're also you can look us up on Facebook. PPC Aruba is the quickest way to find us. But the biggest events this year coming up are in Tampa, the North America Championship. It's a series from July 10th to July 20th. It features a 175 buy-in, 50K guarantee kickoff tournament, and then the main event's a 580 buy-in, 200,000 guarantee main event. That series is going on, like I said, July 10th to 20th. We'll have the every month at Maryland Live, there's an actual satellite series where they're pure satellites as opposed to the split model. And then, we'll be out throughout the state of Florida from now through October. We've got two events in Miami. Dania High Live, a classic fronton in the state of Florida, just got new ownership. They're actually rebranded as Dania Casino. We're launching them in June. And then we also have Ocala High Live. So we've picked up most of the high lives in the state of Florida as well, the frontons there, which, we're it makes it fun in that aspect as well, the mixture of the two and the gaming there. But besides that, obviously Vegas, and then we should have within the next 2 weeks announcements of Midwest and West Coast events as well that we'll be announcing. PokerNews.com's been great in getting out all of our information, and you can get the we put out the press releases through them and through everybody. We'll be of course sending you the information as well, and but yeah. Definitely, make plans October 15th to 21st down in Aruba, and make plans for Tampa for the big event there at the North America Championship, and then everywhere in between.
One interesting thing that sometimes happens with with any business is you maybe take that next big step and overextend yourself a little bit. Are you guys worried about the possibility of maybe stretching yourself out too far at this point? Because it sounds like from this calendar, I mean, it's very ambitious.
Well, no, because we've actually started bringing a couple of, bloggers to come to certain events. We'll be making an announcement here soon of another guy that we've, got coming in, a great name in the industry, and that'll be helping out on, more of the West Coast swing. But no, it's a case of, we look at it as we have Sandy and myself that go to the events. We've got a couple other key components of our company that go into these events as well. And we feel that between our core staff and our base of rooms that we work with, that no, we feel we can get to 40 to 50 events per year and still have the same quality of product and have what the players are desiring and give that to them.
Wow. So what are the big plans, say 2015, 2016? If you guys were looking down the road and got the ideal picture of what everything you wanted, what would it be?
Basically, you're going to have, with the exception of during the World Series, you're going to have weekly events, and there will be a break during the holidays after the Aruba Championship. But realistically, about 40 events per season, capping again with Aruba. There will be another international event coming on board in addition to Aruba, and just continuing to grow a couple key locations in the U.S. that'll have a little bit bigger buy-ins, a little bit bigger guarantees, but again, still focusing on, your average everyday grinders that are trying to, maybe would never go down to Aruba or any other destination and plunk down $2,200 to play in an event, are winning their way in and building up a nice big field, which also attracts a lot of other players coming into the event as well. So it's just continuing to grow our key events, grow our key swing areas, and, just getting it bigger and better, and just keep listening to the players and keep giving them what they want.
Yeah, so for everybody that's coming out to Vegas here for the World Series, once again, it's, the Golden Nugget Desert Open coming up June 29th through July 1st. So you can say hi to the big boys and then head on over and have a great time with these guys. I mean, this has been an amazing growth of this tour as it has moved forward and forward so fast, and there's a reason for that. I mean, I can tell you that everybody that has spoken to me about the PPC has just had glowing things to say about it. So, Brian, you ought to be thrilled to death where you are and where you're going, and looks like we'll be working with you a little bit and helping promote things, and should be pretty exciting.
We're very excited. We're very excited to be working with you as well. And, it's just a case of, hey, we're at the end of the day, we're all in this to, do better and have a good life and make friends along the way and help each other out. So we're looking forward to working, a lot with you and helping your brand and helping our brand.
Sounds like fun. Well, we've got of course, once again, go to PPP. I put an extra P in there. I am so frazzled right now, you have no idea. PPCPokerTour.com and check everything out. You can check out the event at Golden Nugget and, of course, all the other ones leading up to the championships in Aruba in October. I think I might want to go. I think that would be good for me.
You'd be missing a great time if you don't make it down. That's for sure.
See, nice. He's throwing the hook out there a little bit. Oh my God. Well, it's going to be a great time for everybody, and we're looking forward to catching you out at the World Series this year and at the PPC Golden Nugget Desert Open. Brian, thank you so much for coming on the show. Really do appreciate it. I wish you the best of luck with everything, and we will speak to you again soon, my friend.
Sounds great, Mark. Have a great one. Talk to you soon.
You too. All
Thanks.
right.
Bye-bye.
There you go, everybody. Brian Olton from the PPC. Make sure you once again check him out at ppcpokertour.com. They are also on Twitter. I had to pull phone notes on my phone, which is just unbelievable. And, of course, I lost the Twitter account. I'll get that for you, but you got PPC Poker Tour on Facebook as well. So give them a look. Casino Examiner, I am not putting on a Speedo. I absolutely refuse to do so. That is not going to happen. What I am going to do is I'm going to get Nate Dallin back on the line, as we have Greg Elder coming up in a little bit. But, of course, we've got to get our commercial break in, too. Nate, you ready to go to Aruba?
I am ready to go to Aruba.
Let's go to Aruba.
Any day.
Well, I want to go for the PPC Championship.
I'm ready to go now.
Well,
when is it?
That is in October. You just go on ppcpokertour.com and take a look. All right.
I'll be on the beach.
Okay, sounds good. Well, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, I'm going to pull all my notes back together, because if I don't have them ready for Greg Elder, I'm going to get buried. It will not be pretty. So Greg Elder coming up in a little bit, and we also, of course, have event number 15, the Off-Tail Poker Tables Tournament Series. So, guys, we appreciate your patience today. Still having a great show. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back.
The heat is on. Whether you're in the hot seat of a major poker tournament or just dealing with everyday life, stay cool with a brand new Arctic Blue cooling towel. Just wet your reusable and durable Arctic Blue cooling towel in cold water, and you'll have instant cooling relief at your fingertips for up to 5 hours. The towel is lightweight and pliable, so you can keep it handy no matter where you are. Plus, it's absorbent enough to make sure you and your clothes stay dry while you stay cool. No need to sweat it out, no matter what you're doing, when you have an Arctic Blue cooling towel handy. So get the same cooling towel used by professional athletes, poker players, first responders, physical therapists, U.S. automakers, and even reality TV stars. So what are you waiting for? Visit them today at arcticblu.com and pick yours up today. Plus, enter the discount code MarkHokeShow when you check out and get 15% off plus free shipping to keep some of your cold hard cash in your wallet. It's like the Arctic Blue Bear says, it's not cool to be hot. So pick up your Arctic Blue cooling towel today.
One man, his lucky shirt, an unforgettable night, and a winning streak that never seemed to end. That's how Blind Squirrel began, and we haven't looked back since. We make the clothes that we want to wear for the places where we want to look and feel our best. The game, the speakeasy, and the casino floor. Blind Squirrel's small batch, high-quality gear is for people too busy grabbing life by the nuts to bother with crappy, ill-fitting clothing. Because like you, we prefer our nights long, our drinks strong, and our lucky shirt to be our most comfortable. So look good, be lucky, and visit blindsquirrelapparel.com for your new favorite shirt. As an added bonus, you'll receive 20% off your purchase with the promo code HOKE, H-O-K-E. You can also pick up Blind Squirrel apparel at the Borgata in Atlantic City and in Las Vegas at all Masura stores at Mandalay Bay, Monte Carlo, The Mirage, and MGM Grand. Look good and be lucky with Blind Squirrel apparel.
Your business and promotion will only go as far as your website will take you. That's why the Mark Hoke Show has only trusted one name for over 2 years, BlueRail.net. Whether you need custom website design and development packages or simply need a host for your website, Blue Rail is the only developer to turn to. It's time to discover the world-class personalized service only the Blue Rail team can provide. Visit us at BlueRail.net and call 520-822-5128 right now for your free consultation today. So get on board at BlueRail.net. How far do you want to go?
Sports bettors, tired of getting beat every week at your sportsbook? It's time to stop guessing and start winning. We all know cash is king, and it's time to let the team at Double Digit Covers come to the rescue to help you get the positive cash flow you need to live the life you've always dreamed about. Tony Dos and his all-star sports handicapping team will be in your corner to help you beat the point spread, bring excitement and winning to your betting experience, and build your bankroll to levels you never thought possible. Get free winning sports information at doubledigitcovers.com and call now for today's free winner at 1-855-489-3500. That's 1-855-489-3500. Stop guessing and start winning today at doubledigitcovers.com.
9 poker players on a dramatic path to glory with unbelievable twists and turns that will keep you on the edge of your seat. It's the Final 9 comic from Room 110 Publishing. Go to final9comic.com to download the first issue preview and get ready for the official launch coming soon. 9 will become 1 way or another. Final9comic.com. And for more details, make sure to follow them on Twitter and like them on Facebook at Final9Comic.
When it comes to custom poker tables, why would you buy something someone else designed and even named for their sales or marketing purposes?
The Nighthawk, the Gambler, the Big Slick, the Nuts.
Sure, you can customize it if you want, as long as you choose between black, red, or even green cloth, but that's about it. When you choose to play off tilt, it's not just another table, it's your table. The same price gets you a fully custom designed table that reflects your style and game. Off tilt makes it easy to design a truly one-of-a-kind custom poker table that'll give you home table advantage. Sure, Off Tilt could name their tables for marketing purposes, but why? It's not ours. We don't play on it. And to be honest, there are over 1,000 named Off Tilt tables worldwide, including the WSOP, the Deep Stacks Poker Tour, the Jonathan Papelbon, as well as Julie's, Chris's, Scott's, Amber's, Tristan's, just to name a few. So let us add your name to the list and deliver a truly custom-crafted, furniture-quality poker table worthy of your game. Visit www.offtiltpokertables.com or call Brian Knott today at 262-490-3812. We'll show you why Off Tilt is the only way to play.
Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Then follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show and like our Facebook page at The Mark Hoke Show for show news and outstanding poker content from around the world. Plus, enjoy the show anytime by subscribing to our podcasts on iTunes or at markhokeshow.podbean.com. We're even on your mobile phone at markhokeshow.podbean.com/mobile. Thanks for listening and being a part of The Mark Hoke Show.
This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
All right, and we are back on the Mark Hoke Show. Nate, I got a chance to breathe a little bit. I'm feeling better.
That's good. No more pressure.
How's your, are you hearing everything all right?
I'm hearing everything great.
Fantastic. I almost dropped a big old F-bomb right there. It was really close.
Oops.
Well, it's the internet. I can say whatever the heck I want. I'm just being nice because I don't want to take away from Greg Elder coming up here in just a second. Hey, and of course, don't forget all our great sponsors of the show. We have a ton of them that are here helping us out one way or another, and we appreciate all of them. Of course, our good friends at Team Poker Joker. Make sure you go to teampokerjoker.com. And if you love those cool hats, we're going to be selling those at the World Series of Poker. So make sure you check them out. They're also going to have some gear down there as well. So it's teampokerjoker.com. Good friends at Arctic Blue Cooling Towels. It's not cool to be hot. Go to arcticblu.com. Pick up your Arctic Blue Cooling Towel today. Put in the code HOKE, 15% off, plus free shipping. One of the essential products at this year's World Series. Guarantee it. Blind Squirrel Apparel. Make sure you go to blindsquirrelapparel.com. 20% off of some of the greatest apparel you're ever going to find. Of course, also available at the Borgata and Almasura stores here in Las Vegas. Look good, be lucky. Put in the code HOKE. 20% off. blindsquirrelapparel.com. Our good friends at BlueRail.net, our website provider, Bob and the team down there doing an amazing job. If you have loved the sites that we have used here on the show, then just go to BlueRail.net. You can get hosting up for like $9 plus anything else that you need. Make sure you go to BlueRail.net. Off-Tilt Poker Tables, say hi to those guys, of course, supplying that brand new poker table. It's good enough for the Deep Stacks Poker Tour, good enough for the World Series of Poker. It's good enough for you. Check it out at offtiltpokertables.com. Good friends at Double Digit Covers. That's going to be a lead in here. They're winning. And Greg knows a little bit about that. He's done a little sports betting in his time. Check it out at doubledigitcovers.com. Give him a call daily, 855-489-2700. Number to call to get involved with those guys. They're going to help you win. I guarantee it. They're good people. Of course, WSOP Academy. We just have the big event coming up with Phil Gordon in New Orleans. So make sure you check that out. Go to WSOPAcademyLive.com and put in the code Hoke Show, and you're going to get a hefty discount off your
You save a bet.
academy. Yeah, save a bet. For good friends, Final Nine Comic, make sure you go to final9comic.com. 9 will become one way or another. I may be in that book at some point, so keep your eyes peeled. Go to final9comic.com. Okay, I'm going to breathe, and I'm going to call Greg Elder. I think that would be a good idea.
Good idea.
All right, so Nate, I'll say goodbye to you. We will get Greg on the show. Oh, things are starting to smooth out. That's a good thing. Boy, I don't know what happened. You test and you make sure everything's okay, and then all of a sudden things go kablooey. But things don't go kablooey for this guy. He is one of the great gambling minds in the world today, and we are very happy to finally welcome Greg Elder to the show. Greg, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Mark. Thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah, I'm glad we have a show to have you on today the way things are going this morning. Holy cow. Oh my god!
I hear you.
Oh, but we are here now and we're having a great time. And Greg, first, it's been a very interesting time in gambling, and I'm just going to fire this one out at you right off the bat. This whole situation with Phil Ivey, now with two baccarat situations, and especially this recent one at the Borgata. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'm glad you asked because I've written several blog posts on the issue, and for me, it comes down to the fact that, and it's similar in my mind to card counting, he is using nothing more than his mind to defeat a game. Now, I know all the logistics in the background, and there were some things, some conditions he set, whatnot. But bottom line, and this holds true for card counting and other advantage gambling techniques that are not cheating, as long as he is simply using his mind to play a game, I do not see how the casino can get away with not paying him.
I don't either. And I look at, especially at the Borgata, he came in, he had all these demands, and they met every one of them. And you would think, this is just me. If I'm on the other side of that, and I have a guy coming in here that says, okay, well, I want this done, and I want it, I want a certain deck of cards, and I'd just be sitting there saying, wait a second, something's not right. And, for them to just, go through with it, Phil cleans them out, and then come back and sue him just doesn't make any sense when you basically handed all those opportunities to him.
Absolutely. And it is mind-boggling that you would think that these are intelligent people who know who Phil Ivey is, understand that, he's a man who plays, yes, he's a gambler, but he plays games of skill. He's not simply going to go in there and start playing slot machines, I don't think.
Doubt it.
And as soon as he starts issuing these demands, you would think that a red light would go off in their minds. But, it's very similar to the Don Johnson situation that happened in Atlantic City, where, he did not use card counting. He played basic strategy blackjack, and he did the same thing. He set up a contract with them where he got a 20% rebate on losses, which using in combination with basic strategy and the other stipulations gave him an advantage. And it's their fault for allowing that. And to penalize Phil Ivey, it blows my. Then you might as well say that anyone in a casino who can get an advantage should not be allowed to be in there.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I'm sure you probably know Joe Payne too, the blackjack player. Joe's a good friend of ours here on the show and does helps us out on KLAV. And Joe is of course legendary for his ability to count cards and use that advantage too. And it's always fun to talk to the guys that understand those theories and mathematical applications to beat these games on why it shouldn't be illegal for players to do that if you can figure it out.
Well, it's amazing because, the only way they get away with backing you off in Las Vegas is because the courts deem that, they're private establishments. Basically, they can ask anyone they want to leave as long as it's not based on race or gender, that type of stuff. But Atlantic City got it right. The courts ruled there that you can't bar or kick out card counters. Yes, I mean, it's mind-boggling that they can set all the parameters, they set the rules, and just because you've simply, and again, using nothing more than your mind to play the game, they want people to believe that that's somehow cheating or illegal. And the bottom line, Mark, is they're getting away with it because the general public believes whenever they hear about somebody, like Phil Ivey or a card counter, their first thing is, and I've had it said to me many a times, isn't what you're doing illegal? And, so they've put out this propaganda and they're getting away with it.
Wow, that is crazy. And we did get a question on Twitter today before we get into the book and everything else that you have going on. Casino Examiner asked, were you ever barred at blackjack for card counting, where and when?
Yeah, I saw that. Jay Stat, he's a smart guy. He knows
he does
quite a bit about gambling himself. But yes, I have. The quick answer is yes, I've been barred before, backed off, if you will, in Vegas and some other places. But I'm based on the East Coast, so I did a lot of my gambling in Atlantic City. And like I said, in Atlantic City, they're more passive aggressive about it. They can't simply ask you to leave. So you might be playing and you'll see a pit boss come up and whisper in the dealer's ear, and you'll notice the next time you jump your bet on a positive count, all of a sudden he reshuffles the deck, and there goes your advantage. But my best back-off story is, and it actually doesn't have to do with blackjack. It's actually had to do with video poker, believe it or not. And it was at Harrah's in Atlantic City. I found an advantage play on a video poker machine where I had about a 1.5% advantage using some promotions and some comps that I had and with perfect play. And me and my wife went up there. Long story short, it was one of those situations where I couldn't lose. I hit 3 royals. I was up over about $12,000 over about a 2.5 day period. And on the third day, before we're getting to leave, me and my wife were playing the machine because when she comes with me, I make sure she's on the same machine just to kind of keep an eye on her, make sure she doesn't make any mistakes. But I look over and I see a gentleman probably about 10, 15 feet away with his arms crossed, standing in the middle of the walkway, looking at me as if he would like to kill me. And so, I kind of saw it and just kept playing, kind of just brush it off. And then my wife noticed it, and she's pretty gullible and naive. So if she noticed it, I knew I wasn't being paranoid. So I turn and look at the guy, and I kind of give him a little smile and a half wave. Well, he is not responding one bit. He is just still standing there staring me down. So finally, I'm starting to get a little irritated. I'm like, what is going on? So I get up and go walk to this gentleman to talk to him and find out what's going on. And he literally scampers across the casino floor away from me.
Wow.
And bottom line, to make a long story short, when we went to check out, they made it pretty clear that I would no longer be receiving any comps or eligible for any promotions at Harrah's in Atlantic City. Again, they they can't just flat out bar me, but they make it so that you can't gain an advantage by pulling all those things. So that was kind of my last visit. So that's kind of my back off story, if you will. I've never been back roomed or beat up or anything like that, but that was kind of an interesting situation.
Wow, that is incredible. Well, and this is funny because I get to talk to Alan Kessler a lot, and this is going to kind of lead into what we're talking about with the new book you've got out.
Sure.
Winning gambling strategy and how to get it. Now everybody's coming to Vegas; they're looking for an edge. Let's start with video poker and give everybody an idea of what are the things that you're looking for. Maybe some notes out of the book that are going to help them get a little bit of an edge at video poker to help them, pick up that money and walk out of there happy.
Yeah, video poker is an amazing game because it gets lumped in with slot machines, and therefore, the average gambler figures that it operates similar to a slot machine, and it does in the way it works, but it's a skill-based game, and basically, it's all in the pay table on the machine. That's number one. When you look at a video poker machine, most people just, look for their favorite machine or favorite game or whatever and sit down. But what they need to do is examine the pay table on each machine. In other words, you can be playing jacks or better, and it could be 3 machines lined up side by side, and each of them can have a different pay table. One might pay you 9 coins for a full house, one might pay you 8, or one might pay you 7. So the first thing you need to do is find the most advantageous pay table. Once you do that, then it comes down to making the optimal play, the mathematically based correct play for every hand that you're dealt. Now that sounds a bit overwhelming to people, but I would say probably 95% of the plays are common sense, or if you are familiar with playing, you're probably going to hold the correct cards. But there's so many tutorials and simulation video programs, computer programs that can help you. And basically what they do is, as you're playing, if you make a mistake, they stop the game and explain why the cards you're holding are incorrect. And once you learn what pay tables to look for and can learn perfect play, video poker is one of the best games in the casino that people can play.
No doubt. Well, I hear Alan taking it down all the time. So if Kessler's tearing it up, it's got to be pretty good. So
absolutely.
So what are in the book? You're basically trying to give people some, maybe not the basic techniques, but some, some mid-level type stuff that is going to help carry them through. So let's talk about maybe some of the other games, that people should get into if they're coming out here and they're looking to get that edge, and, a little bit of detail about what you're firing at them on this.
Absolutely. When I first started writing and, my memoir, which is Gamblers Fight Back, it was all advantage gambling techniques, which take, time, practice, and the average gambler, let's be honest, is not going to do that. So this book is more geared. Now, it's not the basics. I'm not explaining, how to play the game of blackjack. I'm not telling you, what hit means or stand or anything like that. But what I do explain, and using blackjack as an example, is what are the best rules to look for? A lot of people sit down at a blackjack game and assume that, it's the same as the one, across the casino or at another casino. So I go through all the, the best rules and how to lower the casino's built-in advantage based on those rules. Then we talk about basic strategy, which is the optimal way to play without card counting. And then we talk about how you can use things like comps and promotions to, even further, at least get on an even playing field. It's not that difficult in the game of blackjack to basically reduce the casino's odds to 0. And if you can do that with very little effort, I mean, you're basically, you're giving yourself an even chance of winning and losing.
Well, tell everybody a little bit about how to use the comps properly. We can, I don't want to have you give away everything, but
sure,
it is when people sit down at a table, a lot of people when they're a tourist aren't thinking about that extra picture with the comps. How does that play into it?
Well, and going back to blackjack, the reason that comps become so valuable is most casinos rate blackjack players at about a 2% disadvantage because, 98% of the people, or maybe not that high, maybe 95, when they play blackjack, they make decisions based on, whether the stars are aligned, what their gut feeling tells them. So they're getting about it. So when you're getting rated or comped, you're getting rated at 2% disadvantage. Well, the techniques I show you how to use, you can reduce their advantage to about 0.25%. So that means they're comping you at a 2% rate as if you had a 2% disadvantage, but really, in actuality, you only have a 0.25% disadvantage. So right there, you're ahead of the ballgame. You've now become an advantage player by doing nothing more than looking for the right game and using basic strategy. Um, and like you said, there's so many different comps and promotions. I could write a whole book just on those. But the reality is, most people don't take full advantage. They don't even know what they have. They get mailers in the mail, and they kind of just, when they feel like going to the casino, that they don't plan out their dates on certain promotions or multipliers, things like that. So there's many ways that people can fully utilize comps and rewards.
Yeah, and another part that I think everybody, no matter whether you're doing, you're doing blackjack, you're doing poker, or you're doing sports betting or whatever, is money management. It is such a huge key to making sure that you keep everything under control, play smart, and don't bust yourself out in a hurry. What are some of your major points that you like to teach when it comes to money management?
The biggest thing, and most people, once again, do not do this. Most people, they say, okay, next weekend, let's go to the casino. And whatever money they have on hand, that's basically what they bring. One of the best ways to manage your money as a gambler is to actually have what's called a gambling bankroll. And basically, whether that takes you 6 months, a year, 2 years to accumulate that, it's money you put aside every month for the strict purposes of gambling. And once you're able to develop, and again, it depends on what levels you're going to bet, obviously. But once you have, a decent bankroll, that's going to dictate the level that you should be betting at. Most people don't understand. They bring $500 to the casino. Well, if you bring, $500, that seems like a lot of money. But if you're betting $25, $50 a hand in blackjack, that $500 can go in a couple hours. And then you're twiddling your thumbs for the next 3 days. So one of my biggest well, actually two. One is get a gambling bankroll, and the other is to break up your gambling time into sessions. People go to the blackjack table and they'll sit there for 5 or 6 hours. And what happens is you become basically immune, and you become frustrated, and you lose control of your emotions, and you begin to gamble wildly. I recommend never staying at the table longer than for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, without taking a 15 to 30-minute break away from the casino floor. And those are probably my two biggest money management benefits or advice.
You also cover gambling psychology in this book, and I'm curious because I haven't got to see the book yet. So,
Sure.
What exactly do you get into in gambling psychology? Where does that come into play?
Well, it's a huge thing, and any advantaged gambler will tell you that the biggest thing that one can possess to be a great gambler is discipline. And people most people view gambling as a form of entertainment. And sure, it is, and we all enjoy doing it. But that doesn't mean that you leave your discipline at the door. If you're going to a casino, to party and kick back and, have 4 or 5 drinks, you better be prepared to leave there with an empty wallet. I just go into some of the manipulations casinos use, some of their tactics that they use to get people to basically gamble more than they want to. Again, people go there for entertainment. They go to have a good time, which is great, but you can't lose complete control of your emotions. You have to go in there with a game plan. You have to go in there with the understanding of how they're trying to manipulate you, what they're trying to do to push your buttons to make you gamble more than you want to.
Fascinating. We'll get to the in a second. Of course, we're on with Greg Elder, the best-selling author, and the new book is out called Winning Gambling Strategy and How to Get It. So what are some of those things you're doing? I know about the color schemes and the pumping the oxygen in and all that kind of stuff. What are some of the other crazy little tricks that they pull on people?
Well, I mean, there's literally hundreds of them. A fascinating one that I've kind of delved into myself is when you go to the casino, you notice that you could count the number of times that they tell you good luck. And there's two primary reasons for this. Number one is, first and foremost, they want you to believe that gambling is completely about luck. And as an advantage gambler, we know that the short term is dictated by luck. But in the end, it's math and mathematics that really dictate whether you're going to win or lose. So by them telling gamblers, hey, good luck, good luck, good luck, when someone goes there and they lose, they say, hey, it's not my fault. I just had bad luck. When in reality, there are things that they can do, skills that they can learn to give them a better chance of winning. And the other manipulation used by that is the premise that basically they're on your side. And we've already, talked about Phil Ivey. We know, and I don't care who you are or what, type of an advantage gambler you are, they're not on your side. Yes, if you're sitting down and feeding quarters into a slot machine, yes, they want you to win once in a while because they want you to come back. But, this phrase, good luck, they don't say that just to say it. They say that for a reason. And that's just one example that I'm throwing out there. But there's literally anything you see in a casino, whether it be the height of the chairs, whether it be the carpet they use, the layout, everything is done for a reason. And that reason is to increase their bottom line and, once again, to make you spend more money than you intended.
What are the biggest traps that people run into that you see as, when they just happen to show up and say, yeah, I'm going to take 3 days and go down there? Where are the biggest mistakes that people are making when they go gamble?
Number one is, first and foremost, is alcohol. Again, I drink. I have nothing against alcohol. And I'm not going to sit here and tell anybody that goes into a casino they can't drink. But alcohol, they're not being gracious hosts by providing you with alcohol. The alcohol is there for a purpose. It loosens inhibitions. It gets you to make decisions that normally you may not make. And unfortunately, once again, going back to that party atmosphere, people go in there and they become intoxicated. We all know what happens once you're intoxicated. You make poor decisions. Sure, you might get lucky once in a while, but in the end, more than likely, it's going to be bad news. When you mix alcohol and gambling, it usually is not a good thing. Again, I'm not saying don't drink at all. I do tell anybody who's an advantage gambler, because you're constantly using your mind not to drink. But if you're more of a recreational gambler, a drink or two is fine. But once you get beyond that, you're really playing with fire.
So where does the line become between being a recreational gambler and an advantage player? What are the things that you need to do to get into the range of skill and abilities that you have?
Well, the biggest difference is probably, and I talked about the entertainment factor. Advantage gamblers go to casinos for one reason and one reason only. Sure, they might enjoy what they're doing, but they're going there to make money. That is their primary means, primary reason for going to a casino. Now, a recreational gambler, sure, they want to win. Everybody wants to win that gambles. But most of them are not willing to put in the time or the effort or take the steps to truly make winning feasible. They're, again, relying on luck. So for me, the line is drawn where, what are your primary motives for going? I think you can do both. I think you can have a good time and enjoy what you're doing, but as an advantage gambler, you know that your primary motive is to win. Are you going to win every time? Of course not. I don't care how great a gambler you are. There's going to be plenty of times you lose. But when your primary focus, everything that you do should be dictated by whether or not you're, trying to win or lose.
So let me ask you this, because of course you're still a gambler. What is the craziest bet or thing that you've done in your gambling career?
I made a huge mistake when I was doing real well when I decided to quote unquote become a professional, full-time gambler. I got, I guess you call it, cocky. And it's funny because if you talk to most professional gamblers, they've all been in my situation. Things were going really well, and I kept pushing it, pushing it, pushing it. And I took a chance on an advantage play. And again, this was happened to be video poker, and it was a $5 video poker machine, which means you're betting $25 a hand. And realistically, you need about $180,000 to $100,000 bankroll to sustain the wins and losses. Well, I didn't have that large of a bankroll, but I took a shot, and in about a day and a half, 2 days, I dropped a little over $20,000. And again, I'm not self-made millionaire, or even, when I began this thing, I didn't have a huge amounts of money like some of these guys had. So for me, it was devastating, and it was stupid. I mean, I knew it. I knew the play was good. It was, it was an advantage play. I had an advantage, but it's called risk of ruin. I knew my risk of ruin was very high with the bankroll that I had, and unfortunately, it kind of brought me back to earth.
No, sometimes you got to take that hit to realize to never do that again, right?
Absolutely. I can promise you that will never happen again.
I bet your wife feels that way too.
Absolutely. She was, it's funny because, people, that's always a question I get is how, I'm a former teacher, I'm a coach. I've always, I've never really did anything like this before. And they always say, what did your wife say when you first sat down and told her your plans to do this? And I like to say, she didn't say anything. She sat there in silence for about 5 minutes,
Ooh.
looking at me like I was crazy.
Ooh.
But fortunately, I started off real well, and that was some luck. Again, I had an advantage, but I was, to the right of the standard deviation of where I should have been. And once the winnings started rolling in, she was all aboard.
Yes, that's the way it usually works. It's it's interesting that many guys that I've gotten to meet out here in Vegas, they're advantage players, do a lot of sports betting things like that, are family men.
Right.
It really does break that stereotype of, here's the degenerate guy sitting there with a cigar watching football games all weekend and, throwing down a couple hands of 21. And it's interesting to see how many people that participate in this, have family and kids.
Well, it's really tough when you do have family and kids. You need to be in the right situation. And, I like to say my wife's an angel because she understood the position I was in. I was trapped in a job where I was miserable. I was selling insurance and I hated it. And I needed something to reinvigorate myself and to kind of bring that spark back. And, I kid and say she sat there in silence, but once she heard me out, and understood where she was fully supportive. But, there are a lot of family men out there. And the problem with that is it really increases the pressure. And like I said before, I don't care how great a gambler you are, you're going to go through the losing streaks. And when you have a daughter and a wife, that can increase the burden tenfold. But you're right. I mean, you look at the average advantage gambler; they're highly intelligent They're no longer the like you said, the degenerate. They're highly intelligent people that have families, and they've chosen this profession based on the belief that they know that in the end, the mathematics are going to dictate that they're going to win money.
Yeah, and poker's kind of, I mean, I would assume you'd probably rate it as probably one of the best games to play in the casino, right?
Absolutely, and the only reason I'll be honest with you, the only reason I didn't choose poker, and if I had to do it all over again, I might have, but the only reason I didn't was the allure of taking on the casino. I just, I wanted the big guys. I wanted to take money from these multi-billion-dollar corporations, whereas, obviously they're getting their cut in a poker game, but you're playing against other players. But I've said it in blogs, and I tell people, the best way to be an advantage gambler, the smartest way to be an advantage gambler is to play poker, because especially long term, because you're going to burn out taking on the casinos as a card counter. I mean, it's very tough to do for long periods of time. And if you really want to make a long-term career out of it, poker is absolutely the best way to go.
Well, see, there we go. So everybody out there is feeling good now. It's like there's people out there that are struggling harder than you guys that are at the poker tables, so not so bad.
Absolutely.
So tell everybody a little bit more about the book, where they can get it, and if they want to check you out and everything, your website and so on, let them know.
Absolutely. Well, my author site is gregelderauthor.com, and that'll pretty much give you, all my books. My two biggest books are the first one is called Gamblers Fight Back, and basically that's sort of a memoir. I take you through my time as a professional gambler, my whole journey, and then I also explain the tactics I use, the advantage gambling tactics I use. So it's kind of a story as well as gambling techniques. The latest book, A Winning Gambling Strategy and How to Get It, again, that focuses, basically, it encompasses everything I've ever learned about casino games. I've tried to include everything that I can, and I tried to make the methods practical, easy to understand, and things that people can use. And if you get to the point where you use these basic things and you're playing at even odds, and now you want to take the next step and really become an advantage gambler, I give you the foundation for that as well. And then, that can lead you into, other books about card counting or, video poker play, whatever. But again, this book, this latest release, I'm trying to get to the people that are going to gambling and just don't have a game plan. They're just walking in blind and getting blindsided. And I want them to know that there are some easy, practical things they can do to improve their odds.
So are you going to come out and say hi at the World Series? I think that's the question everybody wants to know now.
I got to, man. I got to get out there. I've been trying to get out there. It's been a while since I've been out there. I've been so busy with the writing. I'm also writing for Answers.com as their gambling expert, and I've been putting out books, and but I got to get out there. I'd love to meet you. I've enjoyed the show for a while, and I'm just happy to be on, to be honest with you.
Oh, well, thank you, Greg. It's pretty sweet of you.
Absolutely.
Well, when we get this major announcement we have coming up here in about a week, I think you're definitely going to want to come out and hang out with us. We got something pretty big coming. So
I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah, so we'd love to have you join us out here in Las Vegas. So yeah, book a flight, bring the wife, have a good time. She can hang out with my wife, and bring the daughter. I got a 5-year-old, so.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Perfect, man.
Yeah.
Hey, I might take you up on that, Mark.
You should, absolutely. We'll have a great time, and we'll let the ladies do their thing, and we'll party it up a little bit, but in a smart way, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. That sounds great.
All right. Well, Greg, I got to thank. An absolute pleasure to have you on the show. I mean, this was a great conversation. We're definitely going to have to do this again, and hopefully we'll get to see you out here in Las Vegas pretty soon. We'll drag you out from North Carolina, have you make the trip.
Absolutely, man. It's been great. My pleasure, and I hope to talk to you soon or see you soon.
Yep, sounds great. Well, thank you for being on the show today. Appreciate it.
All right, take care, Mark.
All right, there you go. Greg Elder, everybody. Gambling expert. You better get this book out, you guys. I've got to get this book. My goodness. I mean, I live here. I need this book. It's a winning gambling strategy and how to get it. You can pick it up on Amazon, wherever. Sounds like a fascinating read. Normally I get a chance to read the book, so we set this up too quick. Greg didn't give me a chance to get the book. But I want to read this book. I really do. And if you listen to that, man, Greg's on the ball too. That's a smart guy right there. Wow. That was a very interesting interview. I very much enjoyed that. Got to bring the fundamentals no matter what you're doing out here. That's for sure, Nate. Nate, what'd you think?
That was great. That was absolutely fantastic. He's going to come out, huh?
Yeah. Well, we're going to have to drag him out here now.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I think it'd be
twisting his arm.
I think that would be twist his arm, absolutely. Yeah, he might get his arm twisted for out of a couple casinos, but what are you gonna do? They'll do it in a nice way, I'm sure.
Not always.
Oh my God! All right. Well, hey, we of course have Off Tilt Poker Tables event number 15 coming up here in just a couple of minutes. Get on in there. It's PokerStars.net. Go into the home games tab. Club ID is 629454. Password is LockItUp1. We're going to play some poker.
No, it's not. It's
it's Rogue Wire. I did it again. Jesus. Man, I thought I had everything pulled together after the 45-minute disaster at the start of the show. Rogue Wire. Our good friends, of course, we're on RogueWire.com. Bob's got some great stuff up on the site, too, man. You got to check that out. So let's take a break, and when we come back, it's going to be time to play some poker, everybody. So stick around, you guys. We'll see you on the other side of the break.
Want a chance to win the Poker Notes Live premium version for free, valued at $10? Poker Face News is offering an exclusive promotion only to the Mark Hoke Show listeners, whereby one version of the Poker Notes Live premium app is being given away for free every week. To win one, sign up to the Poker Face News email newsletter, where you will also be the first to hear exclusive interviews with some of poker's most interesting personalities, as well as much more. Sign up now at pokerfacenews.com/Mark Hoke. That's no spaces, no dashes, pokerfacenews.com/Mark Hoke.
Do you dream? Do you dream big? The WSOP Academy can help make that big dream a big reality. If you want to learn more about the game of poker, we're here to teach you, and we can do it better than anyone else. With the most bracelet-winning pros, the biggest prize pools, the lowest student-to-instructor ratio, and the highest student success rate. No other live poker instruction can compare. Whether you're a seasoned veteran or a poker beginner, after you attend one of our classes, you'll walk away with a broader understanding of the game, greater appreciation of the skill that it takes to win, and a roadmap to advance your game as far as you want. Whether you're trying to improve your tournament game or cash game, the WSOP Academy will raise your game and your confidence to a world-class level. Visit WSOPAcademyLive.com to register for your game-changing academy today. Use promo code HOPE to save a bet.
9 poker players on a dramatic path to glory with unbelievable twists and turns that will keep you on the edge of your seat. It's the Final 9 comic from Room 110 Publishing. Go to final9comic.com to download the first issue preview and get ready for the official launch coming soon. 9 will become one way or another. Final9comic.com. And for more details, make sure to follow them on Twitter and like them on Facebook at Final9Comic.
At Team Poker Joker, we build innovative, high-performance, poker-focused apparel designed to keep you cool and calm in tough situations. Wait, no we don't. We've just got a cool brand representing the suits of this beautiful game called poker. Our gear won't make you better, but it will keep a smile on your face. So don't be so serious and show you know how to have fun. Get your Poker Joker gear today at TeamPokerJoker.com. Grin and win today at TeamPokerJoker.com.
Your business and promotion will only go as far as your website will take you. That's why the Mark Hoke Show has only trusted one name for over 2 years, BlueRail.net. Whether you need custom website design and development packages, or simply need a host for your website, Blue Rail is the only developer to turn to. It's time to discover the world-class personalized service only the Blue Rail team can provide. Visit us at BlueRail.net and call 520-822-5128 right now for your free consultation today. So get on board at BlueRail.net. How far do you want to go?
One man, his lucky shirt, an unforgettable night, and a winning streak that never seemed to end. That's how Blind Squirrel began, and we haven't looked back since. We make the clothes that we want to wear for the places where we want to look and feel our best. The game, the speakeasy, and the casino floor. Blind Squirrel's small batch, high-quality gear is for people too busy grabbing life by the nuts to bother with crappy, ill-fitting clothing. Because like you, we prefer our nights long, our drinks strong, and our lucky shirt to be our most comfortable. So look good, be lucky, and visit blindsquirrelapparel.com for your new favorite shirt. As an added bonus, you'll receive 20% off your purchase with the promo code HOKE, H-O-K-E. You can also pick up Blind Squirrel apparel at the Borgata in Atlantic City and in Las Vegas at all Masura stores at Mandalay Bay, Monte Carlo, The Mirage, and MGM Grand. Look good and be lucky with Blind Squirrel Apparel.
When it comes to custom poker tables, why would you buy something someone else designed and even named for their sales or marketing purposes?
The Nighthawk, the Gambler, the Big Slick, the Nuts.
Sure, you can customize it if you want, as long as you choose between black, red, or even green cloth, but that's about it. When you choose to play off tilt, it's not just another table, it's your table. The same price gets you a fully custom designed table that reflects your style and game. Off tilt makes it easy to design a truly one-of-a-kind custom poker table that'll give you home table advantage. Sure, Off Tilt could name their tables for marketing purposes, but why? It's not ours. We don't play on it. And to be honest, there are over 1,000 named Off Tilt tables worldwide, including the WSOP, the Deep Stacks Poker Tour, the Jonathan Papelbon, as well as Julie's, Chris's, Scott's, Amber's, Tristan's, just to name a few. So let us add your name to the list and deliver a truly custom-crafted, furniture-quality poker table worthy of your game. Visit www.offtiltpokertables.com or call Brian Knott today at 262-490-3812. We'll show you why Off Tilt is the only way to play.
Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Then follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show and like our Facebook page at The Mark Hoke Show for show news and outstanding poker content from around the world. Plus, enjoy the show anytime by subscribing to our podcasts on iTunes or at markhokeshow.podbean.com. We're even on your mobile phone at markhokeshow.podbean.com/mobile. Thanks for listening and being a part of The Mark Hoke Show.
Now, let's return to the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
Yeah, that's me. What's up, big dogs? Yeah. Ow. Mark Hoke hanging out, having a good time. It's the uncensored show, so I can say shit or fuck if I so choose. So can Nate Dowland if he wants. What's up, Nate?
I can only hear a couple words that you're saying.
Oh, well, the music's cranking. How about that? So we're rocking out. That's how we do it around here. So poor Nate. What's up, buddy?
There, you're back.
Yeah. See, we got it rocking and rolling in here, man. You got to be ready. That's a loud promo. It's exciting promo.
We're about to be starting up the tournament.
They're seeding now.
Yes, they are.
So we'll see if we'll get that.
So this is the last regular game.
Next to last. One more.
Okay.
One more. Event number 16 next week. And the championship 2 weeks after that. So
now, do you get anything extra for taking first place in the league?
I might find something for somebody.
I'm hoping, because I'm kind of like right up there on that list.
We may be able to swing something there. Maybe. If I'm in a generous mood. We're pulling everything together for the World Series, so there's going to be some stuff flying around. But, of course, if the person wins and gets the poker table, that ought to be good enough. Don't you
Yeah,
think?
I'm hoping, but there's 18 players that are all good enough to take it down that are going to be playing. So
It is going to be a wild one. So, wow. Hey, but hey, I got to thank our guests here real quick. Of course, Greg Elder coming on and Brian Olton from the Players Poker Championship Poker Tour. Pretty good stuff right there. Of course, survived the early on devastation. Hurricane technology came through and kind of gave me a blowjob there, Nate.
well, I don't think your wife would appreciate that.
I didn't appreciate that one. She bit me. I got nibbled, scraped. Can't do that.
The winds out here in Las Vegas.
Yes, they are. They are a blowing, aren't they?
I love it, man. It's better than blizzard conditions.
Oh God.
Have a little sand in your face. It'll start your day off right.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, let's get we'll get the tournament on the screen here for you in just a second. And of course, we'll break down the tournament standings for you. But of course, biggest thing you got to do is you got to go to offtailpokertables.com and pick yourself up a brand new table. You know, they got the coffee tables, they've got all sorts of accessories, furniture, you know, and if you have other games that, you know, probably like Greg Elder, but he's probably got a casino set up in, you know, some room in the house.
Craps tables.
Something's got to be there. So check it out. You know, go on to offtailpokertables.com, pick yourself up a brand new custom table today. You're going to be glad you did. They are just an absolutely amazing product. That's why the World Series uses them. That's why Deep Stacks uses them. The Mid-States Poker Tour. You know, anybody that's anybody has an off-tilt poker table in the industry. And you can too, so make sure you check out. You know, like Jonathan Papelbon's got one. Tristan Wade. I mean, everybody. It's a winner. Right, Nate?
Right.
Right.
Exactly.